Exclamation, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Sunday Ramblings in Cube World. I am just outside the city. I've just left, trying to go out, explore some more, find some places to roam and things to kill. And as I has been accustomed to the last few episodes, while we do so, I will ramble on about anything and everything that my mind will permit me to do so. It's been a rather uh, eventful week, not necessarily with releases of games and updates of Kickstarter, although I do have a few Kickstarter updates here that I'm going to do. But really around sort of other things, I guess you could say. There's kind of sort of YouTube things, and they're kind of sort of reviewing, video game reviewing things. And right now, unfortunately, I'm not sure how much I can talk about them because everything's just rumors right now that I've been reading. There's been some rumblings about changes that are coming to YouTube, and also PlayStation 4, and some of the restrictions potentially that Sony's going to be putting on reviewers. But again, none of it is confirmed, or it's all just speculation right now. So I'm not going to even dig into it. It did get me thinking about certain things, like how I do things on my channel, and obviously I'm not a reviewer, nor do I ever intend to be a reviewer. I'm just a guy playing games and trying to relax. So my reasons for doing YouTube are certainly different than I would say other people's reasons, and I certainly don't make any money off of this. So I have sort of a different world about me. But anyway, I'm not going to get too deep into that until we actually find some information out, and then I can maybe possibly discuss things. So what have I been doing since last week? It is right now for me Saturday, November the 2nd, Saturday night, to be honest. To be honest, to be accurate is what I wanted to say there. Accurate and honest. So this will be going up on Sunday. I've already recorded a video that and upload it, so it should go Sunday as well. Another side quest video. This one I took a look at a game called Conclave. It's a browser-based RPG game with the spirit of sort of the tabletop gaming, experience to it, or spirit to it. That's to say that it's casual. It's not an action RPG, and it's not your typical computer RPG either, because it does really focus more on the narrative and the exposition, rather than stats and levels and things of that nature. They still play a part, mind you, but they're not as big a part as, say, your decisions, in game. Sort of like you're talking to a dungeon master, essentially, and the game is molding itself around you to a certain extent, as much as you can in a pre-programmed game. So that was kind of cool. I had some problems recording it. First of all, it's browser based, so it's the first time I've recorded something in Chrome, and I know for a fact, since this is kind of my job, I know for a fact that it does do you? Most modern browsers have optimized the web pages to the point where they actually do go through, your 3D rendering card if you have one installed and whatnot. So I know that Fraps and things like that, that recording software like that, that actually looks at your DirectX and Direct 3D connections would record it. What I didn't know is that the entire screen doesn't refresh constantly. I kind of suspected it because the browser is very efficient about how it does things. But because the screen doesn't refresh often, Fraps actually missed a bunch of footage while I was recording because the screen just didn't transition enough for it to pick up on the fact that there's more frames there. So that was interesting. I caught that one. I went through and played the whole first quest and popped it into Vegas to edit it, and discovered to my horror that I was talking with mostly a static screen. It would change periodically, but for the most part it was not keeping up to date. So I had to punt and come up with a different solution. And what I did was I actually downloaded Open Broadcaster, which is a freeware open source streaming package. It's like XSplit, only free, and it is actually pretty stable. And it's also what's the good word I can use here? It's for people like me who are dumb. Dumb as far as recording goes. I mean, XSplit is great and all, but every time I've looked at documentation for it, I get confused as to what all the buttons and knobs and switches do. And I've watched some videos of people explaining things and how things have changed, and just having something relatively simple is better for me at this stage. And so I use that to just capture that screen region that the browser was in. And of course I fiddled with the browser to make sure it was 1280 by 720 on the inside of the browser, not the outside dimensions of the window. And I think ultimately it looks like, I haven't obviously looked at it in YouTube yet, but looking at the renders that I had, it looks like it came out well. So I'm pretty pleased with that. It's a cool game. If you're looking for just sort of a leisurely browser-based sort of, jump in and out type of thing. So you should, check it out. If that's, check out my video and then go check out the website. I have links to it there, and I'll probably replicate those links in this video as well, so that you don't have to go scavenging for them. So what else have I been up to? I put up a video last week of the Stanley Parable. I played that game for an hour, and then I got tired of it. And unfortunately, I didn't notice until I actually went to edit the video that the screen resolution was wrong in it. And that sort of bums me out a lot. I had figured this kind of comes down to, well, okay, my mind is going scatterbrained for a moment here. Let me try to reorganize my thoughts here. The game itself is very linear, right? It's sort of it's supposed to be a meta, discussion of video games and how things work in video games and how you're always pushed down one path. And so that's sort of the tongue-in-cheekness of it, is that, it pushes you down one path, and then when you stray off that path, the game reacts very negatively to your choices. Now, I recorded obviously for a full hour, and man, I'm getting a lot of lag here for some reason. This is not good. And Anyway, I recorded for a full hour, and when I start to look back at the footage, yeah, you know what? I'm getting a lot of frame rate tanking here. I'm going to try to see what's going on here, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. That was strange. As soon as I stopped recording, the game crashed. I don't recall the game crashing before. I mean, like that was weird and strange. But anyway, we'll continue on here. It looks like it saved my position, so that's fine. So what was I talking about? Oh, Stanley Parable. Um, so the game is sort of a meta discussion on video game stories in general and how they tend to be very linear and they don't actually give you choice. They just give you the illusion of choice and blah blah blah. All the old tired and true stuff that when you think hard about it, you realize it's completely logical because hey, it's a computer game. Somebody had to program it, and yes, there's limited choices because somebody had to program it. Somebody had to write a story. But anyway, I played it knowing that it was going to be sort of a meta commentary, and I wasn't quite sure what I was going to get out of it. But I thought, I heard that it was kind of crazy and it kind of went off on tangents, so I thought, let me see what I can do and see what kind of mayhem I can cause. Um, what ended up happening was I recorded that whole session, the hour that I was in there, and I just got completely bored with it after about an hour. I haven't gone back either. Um, but most of that video was me futilely clicking on everything that I could possibly click on and not having any interaction at all with the game. So after getting a good look at the game, or at least I think it was a fairly good look at the game, I decided that if I had uh, put out the video of the full hour video, that it would have sort of given away a lot of the game. I mean, there's plenty of paths I didn't travel down. I mean, I only played for an hour after all. Um, but there were, the whole, how can I put this? The whole appeal of the game, beyond the, oh, hey, this is funny, which actually really wasn't that funny, if I'm to be totally honest. There are some laugh out loud moments, but like for instance when I got impatient and I solved one of the puzzles before the narrator was finished talking, and he sort of chided me and made me stand in place for 2 minutes while he played soft music. That was funny, but the problem is it drags it out too long. It drags out the comedy to a point where it's no longer funny. You know what I mean? Having that level of interactivity is pretty funny. Is funny at the first minute or so, but there are some paths where they drag and beat that horse for 15 minutes at least, and at some point it just gets to be obnoxious and not funny. It loses its humor along the way. So I thought, as I was looking at it, looking at what I recorded, I thought, since the majority of the appeal of this game is going to be finding these endings, wouldn't it be cool if I just, instead of showing the entire progress that I got to those endings from, just cut them up into a montage and just have, a quick 5-minute montage of just, here's some of the paths I went down. I'm not showing you how I got to them, although the one path I sort of had to show. But most of them I didn't show how I got to them, so it's still a mystery. So if you want to go find them, find out how to do it, you can go, buy the game, and you have a reason now to go play. Which, you know, I know that seems like a little thing to sort of dwell on, but it is something I dwell on because ultimately, at the end of the day, um, I put videos up of games that I think people would enjoy, that I've enjoyed, and that I think other people will enjoy playing. And at some point, I feel like if I take away all of the appeal of playing the game by showing it, if that makes any sense, um, that I'm sort of doing it a disservice. I mean, that said, I mean, a Let's Play is essentially somebody playing a game all the way through. But there's some games that are so locked down and so linear that you do sort of take away the reason for playing them, I guess, in a certain extent. And I guess the best way I can describe it is when I watch some of the David Cage games, like I know Jesse Cox plays a lot of them, but and I've watched most of his videos. It's Omicron and Fahrenheit and Heavy Rain. Although, was David Cage Heavy Rain? I think he was. It's at least attributed to him, I think. Um, and the most recent one, Beyond Two Souls. There's in my opinion, some of those games, when you play them, when you record them, if you record them all the way through, as most Let's Players do, you sort of take away the reason for other people to go and play it. You know what I mean? And I say kind of sort of because there are alternate paths. Heavy Rain is a good example of one where there were so many alternate paths and so many alternate endings that you recording one of those is not a big deal, in my opinion, because there's enough there that there are enough branches there that everybody would have some slightly different playthrough. But you look at Beyond Two Souls now. Now, yes, there were some branches to the story, but ultimately they were just minor branches, minor details, minor differences, right? The main part of the story was pretty much fixed. You always ended up back at the same hubs, even though your dialogue might be slightly different or your options might be slightly different. And yes, your endings could be different as well. And there were a couple different endings. But I still felt like, after watching people play through that game, I felt like, okay, there's no real reason for me to ever play it. I've seen it now. I've seen what it has to offer. I'm good. And that is a risk that we run. But after examining what I did in the Stanley Parable, I felt the same way. I was like, you know what? If I put this up as it is, there's very little reason for anybody else to ever go play the game. So I felt like, yes, I needed to sort of cut it up and chop it up into those little montage segments. They ended up fitting into place actually better than I thought they would, because literally I did not change the order in which I cut those segments up. That was the actual order that I played the game in. And yet it worked out surprisingly well once it was edited. The disappointment there was, as I alluded to earlier, the screen resolution was all wrong. And that was on me. I actually did change the settings, change the resolution to 720, 1280 by 720, which is our 720p HD stuff. However, after doing that, I exited out of the game and then started up Fraps and then came back into the game. I did not realize that the game resets back to 1080 by 720 or 1080 by 765 or whatever it is. It's a 4 by 3 resolution. Did not know this, and it's a full screen game, so it's kind of hard for me to tell. You know, if it was in a window, I could probably tell, but I was playing at full screen. So that is what happened. I actually, I had exited out, came back in, did not know that it reset the resolution. I really should check because there are games out there that really mess up these things. And that's the story. That's what happened. That's why I recorded it at the wrong resolution. I've had a problem with that before with another game that I haven't actually shown yet because there wasn't much to show. I played the Guns of Saint Navarre, which is it's a Unity game. It's a very similar style to Wing Commander games. You're inside of a fighter ship. You're flying around. It has a sort of pixel art view or art style to it. However, there were two big reasons I didn't actually record anything. One was the beta or the alpha that's out there now, and last I checked they haven't updated it yet. The alpha that's out there now, the audio does not save. There's volume controls, but the volume will just reset back to 100, even going from the title screen to the in-game screen, which is kind of frustrating. And second of all, I don't normally have a problem with pixely things. I mean, Christ, I'm playing in a voxel game right now, right? But in this particular case, the textures that they were using were very, very noisy, particularly the background, the starfield textures. And as I was playing, I just kept getting distracted by how noisy the background was. I just kept losing focus, and it was really bothering me to the point where I ended up quitting after about 5 minutes. I just couldn't deal with it. So hopefully they can fix all that up. And also, there wasn't much to it. It was just a sort of sandbox, spawn in some enemies, fight them, that kind of thing. There wasn't much to it yet. So hopefully that's something that they'll be working on to improve. So yeah, that's that with what I've been working on the side. There's other things as well I'm going to talk about a little bit later. But first I want to get into, as I've leveled up here, I want to do my sort of Kickstarter update here on some of the Kickstarter things I'm following. We've had a couple Kickstarters actually totally complete this week. First of all, the Cosmic Star Heroine. That had already passed within a few days of its starting its Kickstarter. But that finally wound down and finally closed altogether. Because even though you bypass your goal, it'll keep on going until your time frame is over. So they actually ended up raising, from the $100,000 that they needed, they ended up raising $132,689. So congratulations to Zeboid, and I'm looking forward to that game. I apparently did not realize this. I looked, when the Kickstarter finishes, you get another email from Kickstarter. It says, okay, this Kickstarter campaign is finished. It reached its goal. Your credit card's now going to be charged, and this is how much it's going to be charged, and this is what you actually selected. I forgot that I actually selected the $60 tier? I mean, I wanted to give them money, so I gave them money. But I did not realize that it was not only alpha access, but also apparently get to name a character in the game and give him like a couple lines of or not a character, but I get to have like a historical reference in the game or something like that, and you get to write 2 lines of text or something like that. So that's going to be interesting. Not sure what I'm going to write there, but that's I'm kind of waiting for that to come down. And what? So yeah, I'm right on the edge of this biome here, but I want to see what this. I want to see what these cross swords are first. I'm kind of curious. I see a little bit of the other biome, of the new biome there, and it's interesting, and I kind of want to take a look at it, even though I really don't want to start exploring constantly here and opening up new biomes before I've actually had a chance to really explore them, but I don't know. I'm feeling the itch to just take a look at it because it looked kind of funky. But first, let me try to track down this cross swords area here, and then I think I will look at that other biome just to see. So anyway, that was sorry, my I am scatterbrained as usual. This is why I call it Sunday Ramblings, because I just tend to ramble. So Cosmic Star Heroine, that's done. Pulsar Lost Colony, also its Kickstarter completed. They had already passed a while ago as well, but their final tally, out of the $40,000 that they were asking for, they ended up getting $55,422, which unlocked one of their stretch goals of an enhanced soundtrack. So that's kind of cool. Can't wait for that. I've been sort of itching for that. I played a little bit of Artemis Space Starship. What is it called? Artemis Starship Simulator. I played a little bit of that, but you really need multiple players for that, and you do need multiple players for Pulsar as well. But they do have AI bots, and it's all sort of integrated in the game. And I'm just really psyched up for it. I can't wait to get my hands on the first beta of that. That'll be kind of cool. You really should also, if you want to keep up to date with their development, go check out their YouTube channel. They put up a dev blog, vlog, video pretty much every week. I think they only missed 1 week because of all the work on Kickstarter. So definitely go check that out. Hopefully, if I remember, I will put a link directly to their YouTube channel. Go check them out. And I have to defeat the Saurian, huh? Well, this is a new one. I just gotta find him first, I guess. Let's get our proper pet out here, our proper melee pet. Well, it looks like him up there. All right, let's take this guy on. If I can get up this cliffside here. All right, let's see if I can get a good drop on him. Oh, it looks like he's stuck in a tree. Oh, you having some problems there, guy? Huh? That's okay. I'll kill you all the same. You can stay stuck in that tree. Just gotta get over there. Come on. Yep. There we go. So this is the. You remember from an earlier episode, I had said that I had come across a dinosaur-looking thing. Well, here it is. Unfortunately, I never got to fight it because it despawned and never spawned back again. Now I do. Now I get to do my thing here. Alright. Oh, you can be stuck all day for all I care. Just stand still so I can kill you. So cool. Oops, sorry. That's squeaky chair. So that is the Kickstarter. Those are the 2 Kickstarters that finished this week. couple more Kickstarters that are still going on. The Unsworn, which is the tactical top-down sci-fi RPG that I did a video of a few weeks ago. That's still going on. That has 18 days left. It's at $2,741, and they're trying to raise 60 grand. So it's kind of looking a little bit bleak there. They're running out of time very quickly. So please, if that's something that you like, go take it out, take a look at it. You can feel free to look at my video to see what the demo looks like, or just go download it yourself and play it. Another Kickstarter, The Mandate. This game, man, I wish I could get my hands on a demo of this game. They do have some pieces of it out there. They have like a character creator and something about a starship thing, maybe? Yeah, I couldn't quite figure it out. There's like a starship builder and like a character creator slash preamble type of thing, or preamble prologue type of thing, but I haven't dug into it. I'm not quite sure what it is yet, but man, I would love a demo that's of actual gameplay. That game, just to bring you back up to speed, that's actually another sci-fi RPG game. This one has very expansive goals. It's basically trying to be Deep Space Nine in space, Deep Space Nine as far as characterizations go, and then also combat and, ooh, nice biome here. Lands of Terodin. Nice. I like it. I like it. And my temperature is down. Ooh, negative 17, huh? Degrees centigrade. Alright. So we're obviously in a winter biome, which is strangely appropriate since we're almost in that season. In the holiday season, that is. So I'm definitely going to have to... Well, I'm going to go try to find the city here. But I'm definitely... This is something I'm going to probably explore more later. I kind of want to go back and try to get to that castle that I passed up a while back and do some more exploring in the other biome. But it's nice to see that I have a wintry biome here that I can sort of do along, in the holiday season when we get there. Not quite there yet. But in the meantime, I'm just sort of taking in the sights here and killing some bulls. So yeah, the Mandate. They're currently, they have 29 days left, so they still have plenty of time, which is good. They're at $208,306 out of their $500,000 goal, so they're making pretty good progress. I just, you kind of get nervous. A lot of these Kickstarter projects do get the majority of their funding in the last 48 hours, so mostly because people will put them on their watch list and then forget about them until that actually email comes out 48 hours before they're done. So hopefully they continue to make progress. Some other things here. So that's pretty much my Kickstarter roundup now. Some other updates along the way here. Ethereum, I've been waiting with bated breath for. I cannot wait to play that. I actually, as part of their Kickstarter, so I do have the beta for it. I haven't played too much of it because I don't really want to spoil the story for myself. Not that I'm big on spoiling stuff. You're talking to a guy that will read the last chapter of a book before I read the beginning of the book, because if it doesn't end decently, then there's no point in me putting any any effort into it. So as far as spoilers go, they don't bother me at all. But in this case, I kind of felt like I've kind of put it aside because there are other things on my plate right now, which sucks because that means I'm the worst beta tester around. I'm not actually beta testing. My apologies to the devs. I just, I get a little bit ADD as far as games go, and I jump around a lot with games, which is why I have the whole side quest thing that I do, where I just, any game that I feel like is at a point where I can record a little bit, even if it's not done yet, I tend to do it and then see if I can use any of the footage. So as far as Ethereum goes, they are, the last update that I saw about a week or so ago, they are getting ready to release another beta version, which is awesome. It sounds like they have all the music done, and he's finishing up the last couple of missions. And then, so once he finishes up the last couple of missions, he'll release another beta, which is awesome. I'm hoping as well, it looks like they have another cockpit view, which is good. I'm hoping as well that there's some of the simulator missions have been completed, or at least revamped a little bit, because I know that was crashing a little bit for me. And I would like to put up a video of that, of some of the simulator missions, because they do not, they're supposed to be historical missions. They're not done yet, but the simulator missions are just that. They're just simulated. They're not giving away any of the story, which is good. So I feel, I feel okay putting up videos of that, since I'm not really spoiling anything. So I'm waiting for that. That'll be cool. In the meantime, I've gotten kind of so psyched up about that I realized that it's been a long time since I've played a first-person sci-fi, fighter pilot type of game. So I'm a little bit rusty. Not that I was ever really very good to begin with, but I am very rusty. And so I decided, I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I finally pulled the trigger on it. I downloaded Wing Commander Saga, which is a fan-based, sci-fi starfighter game based in the Wing Commander universe. And it's all, fan fiction and all that stuff, so based on some of the things that are canon and some of the things that are in the Wing Commander books and whatnot. So it's kind of cool. There's a lot of different fan-made stuff, and this one in particular has been baking for about 11 years. I think it took them to finally complete it and get it out there. I had been following it for about 5 or 6 of those years, and it actually came out about a year or two ago. I've just been sitting on it for a while. And so I decided to actually go in and start recording. I had played a few of the first missions, but I didn't get very far in it. It's very punishing, even on easy difficulty, which is what I have it on. It's still very punishing. It's not, that's sort of the flaw a little bit with some of these games, these space fighter combat games, is that you don't get the ability to checkpoint or save during the middle of a mission. So whenever you fail, you have to go all the way back to the beginning. Now, if you do it right, that's not such a big deal. But the thing I've noticed, this is particularly true for the fan-based games. There's a lot of exposition that they put in there, and I enjoy that. I enjoy the lore. I enjoy the expedition. the exposition. The problem is when you make the game punishingly hard, even on the easy level, you get really tired of hearing the same lines and the same scripted events 5, 6, 7 times over and over and over again. And that's sort of the thing that gave me pause about, recording it, because it is a pain in the neck. And yes, I have died dozens of times, and it's been painful to stop recording, get to that point again, remember that that's the point I was at, start recording again. It is tedious from that respect, but it is also fun, and I enjoy it. So I will be recording some more of that. Actually, after I get done here, I'm going to jump over and record some more of that. It's going to take me a while to get those edited, I think, because I'm trying to do a little bit extra with it. Because I'm a big Wing Commander buff. I love the story. I love the universe that Chris Roberts created, which is also why I've contributed to Star Citizen, which is his next big deal project, which, if I'm not mistaken, just passed this week or last week $25 million in crowdfunding. It's insane. It's terrific and insane at the same time. So I big Wing Commander fan, so I'm spending a lot of my time in the cockpit just talking about the history and what's going on in the game, and what's going on in other parts of the universe, because it's taking place. The Wing Commander Saga game takes place during the events, just prior to and then during the events of Wing Commander 3. So there's Wing Commander 3, spoiler alert to anybody who's never played it, takes place at the end of the war, the Kilrathi war, and some big deal things happen during that time. And you're sort of doing things in the background that end up helping out Blair in his mission, ultimately. And ultimately help the Confederation win the war. But at the same time, the war is just going very poorly at this point in the Wing Commander history. So it's you're suffering a lot of setbacks and a lot of lost systems and whatnot. So what's going to take me a while to edit is that I'm also trying to bring in like additional media along the way. So, for instance, I'm thinking of getting recording some of the 3D fly arounds of some of the ships, particularly not only this game but also from previous games like the Epi and Stiletto and things of that nature. Epi and Hornet, I mean. Stiletto is a different one. And sort of, show that how they compare to like the Arrow and all that stuff. And just do, like, whenever I go first into a ship, kind of give background on the ship and how it fits into the universe and what were previous ships that were also of a similar classification or similar type, So I'm going to try to pull in some different sources, different images and whatnot, while I'm going along there. I'll see how it works out. I don't, I haven't edited anything yet, so we'll see. I'm just trying to get a bunch of it recorded so that I can kind of figure out what direction I want to take with it. Arudara Palace, huh? This looks kind of funky. It's like a pink and green and white. It's interesting. So yeah, I've been playing Wing Commander Saga to try to get my skills up a little bit as far as space combat goes, because I am waiting with bated breath for Ethereum. There's also a bunch of other games I'm waiting for with bated breath for. Um, Rodina is another game in that style. It's a sort of takes the elite slash privateer style of things. So obviously, Privateer and Wing Commander and all those games really owe a lot of their um, universe, a lot of their mechanics, I guess you could say, to Elite, which is the sort of the grandfather of them all. And this game is sort of taking that same approach, taking more of the Privateer approach, Privateer and Elite approach, where you just have this large sandbox of a universe, and you fly around and you can go do whatever you gotta do trading, do missions, whatever. So I'm waiting for that to have some kind of playable demo, because I've been looking at the screenshots and reading about it, and I'm psyched up about that. That one has, from what the developer has said, that has seamless transition, so there's no loading screen, so I can go from space down to a planet surface seamlessly. So I'm really psyched for that. I'm hoping for the best for that. Along the same line, since I mentioned Elite, Elite Dangerous is out there, or not out there, but it's being developed. Keeping an eye on that. That is by the original creator of Elite. He's did a whole Kickstarter campaign. I unfortunately missed out on it, but had a whole Kickstarter campaign and raised a bunch of money for it. They did it really on the heels of Star Citizen as well, so which is why I kind of missed out on it, because I had already spent some money on Star Citizen and I didn't, I wasn't in the mood to do any more at that point. So I'm keep an eye on that. I can't wait for that to come out. I don't know if there's any date for that or not. I know that there's probably alphas out there for the Kickstarter backers, but I'm waiting to see. I've seen some videos of it. The videos look awesome, so I'm hoping. Speaking of awesome videos, Eve Valkyrie, another space pilot first-person combat sim. There's been some articles on that. There's been some videos on that. There's a little bit of weirdness brought up by Rock Paper Shotgun around whether or not they're actually going to have a PC release, but I think that's more of a misunderstanding about how those guys work. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be a PC thing. I'm hoping that's going to be a PC thing. I don't know when it's going to grace our monitors, but I'm waiting and I'm hoping. It looks to me like I'm going to be very, very busy with these games, so they can take all the time that they need right now. Oh, okay, and how could I forget this one? Since we're still talking about the first-person fighter pilot games, sci-fi games, Enemy Starfighter. This one is another one that have I said that I'm waiting? Have I said that yet in this episode? I feel like this might be the first time. I have many verbal tics. Believe me, if they annoy you, they annoy the hell out of me, because I have to listen to them 12 or 13 times while I'm editing. So, back to the business at hand. Enemy Starfighter. This game is a cross between X-Wing. X-Wing, very, very, very good game. I did not play X-Wing. I do have TIE Fighter. I still have the I still have the 3 1/4 inch floppy disk for TIE Fighter, which I can't actually use anymore because I don't have a 3 1/4 inch drive plugged in anymore. I'm sure I could go on GOG and find that, though. hopefully, maybe, possibly. Um, but so I've played X-Wing. I did, or not X-Wing. I played TIE Fighter. Did not play X-Wing. But from what I hear, it's the same deal, which is good. And they've crossed that with Homeworld, which, as I've mentioned before, one of my most favorite uh, RTS games that I've ever played. It's probably the only RTS game that I've actually completed all the way through. Simply because I don't like the repetitiveness of RTSs. Like, I don't like how you start at one map and then, you build up your forces. Like, Age of Empires was terrible with this. Like, I used to play that and it used to bug the hell out of me because, I don't want to just, I'm one of those guys, right? I can't just defeat my enemy with the least amount of forces that I can muster. I need to utterly decimate them. I need to fill the entire map with nothing but troops that are loyal to me. I need to crush them underfoot. I need them to go to the grave wondering why they ever thought that they could ever stand up against me, against my forces. Unfortunately, when you play RTS games like that, most of them, when you go to the next mission, they reset you right back to 1 again, right? So you're right back to almost nothing. And that used to just piss the hell out of me. There is no way to sugarcoat that. I could not stand it because I had built up all these forces and then they were useless to me. Which is why I loved Homeworld. Because you could just go and take every force that you build up in one mission and take them all into the next mission. And it was actually useful to stick around after you completed the main objectives to mine some. So that's pretty cool. This enemy starfighter is basically, you're a fighter pilot, but you also command a squadron, and your job essentially is you get like the overhead, like RTS sort of planning phase, more like a tactical phase. So you plan out where you want your ships to arrive and where you want them to attack and whatnot, and then your ships jump in and you cause as much chaos as you can, and that chaos is what is it? Is it renown? Is it that there's some term that they use for it that you build up as you destroy and defeat a lot of your enemies, and your whole goal is you're the tip of the spear, right? You're going in to try to create as much chaos and destruction as you can, as sort of a precursor to your giant fleet coming in later on. That's sort of the storyline. That is cool. I mean, I have I said I can't wait yet? Can't wait for that stuff, man. Just can't wait for it. These guys apparently don't have a special iron lamp, which bums me out a little bit, I have to say. All right, I think I have done enough damage for one day. So again, talking about tons and tons of first-person piloting games. I didn't even get to talk about all of them. I have a bunch listed here, and well, I guess that'll just be for another day, huh? Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate it. I will continue with the series. It will be every Sunday, hopefully, and I look forward to next week. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.